on your post video.
Commentary.
You can't do
Who's
it.
gonna comment?
No, see, can't do it.
The good news, the bad news, and the other shit.
Too bad.
Okay, PMC's out there starting trouble, posting pro-gun control.
Are you serious?
Let's go find it.
Oh, okay. Got to give it to you.
Let's go find it. Let's go.
Here's the part
I'm telling you, because everything's about gun control. The president came up this morning, got on and said he wants to ban clips with over 10 bullets, and he wants universal registration. John McCain said he couldn't even ask for that with a straight. I was watching John McCain watch conservative Republicans on gun control. Man, you know what? Because they want to say stuff, but they can't. They have to go. No, I'm not for it. Not, and they say it's so pain. I'm not for it.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm not for it. I feel other ways. There's other ways.
Yeah, this is a hard one. You have to find out where you really stand on this, because it's going to be 51-49 in a lot of arguments.
Well, that's the thing, and I think more. Remember, I said the conspiracy was actually the fact. And watch if you see this. Remember, the part of the problem on gun control is there's no real honest dialogue, because it is a political topic that is a death knell to politicians. Okay, so they're not going to discuss it. And watch it, I guarantee you, because the reason why they have to discuss it, you'd have to discuss the fact that a lot of Americans don't trust their government. In fact, the reason why the founding fathers, that you guys so call them so often, put that in there was so that you would have the right to bear arms, so that you could fight your government. It was actually put in there so that you could resist your government, and that you would have the right to resist your government forever. Because you know what does it say? It's the Declaration of Independence. But whenever any form of government becomes obstructive of these things, it is the right of the people to alter and abolish it, and to institute new government. So the people who are into this stuff, they will quote you and say, it is my duty to protect this country from the government that exists. And you can't have this discussion, because imagine Obama trying to have a discussion or letting people talk about what they don't trust about him. And a lot of you are saying, and remember, even though you guys can think they're nutty, people are really dead serious. Let me remind also you that unfortunately my perspective is skewed by the fact that I'm a child of the 60s, where this is all we talked about. Black people in this country knew that the government had a plan to put them away. And that's the truth. Go look all this up, because when the riots were going on in the civil rights, there were contingency plans. So there's all a history in this. So when you say it's paranoia, a lot of you, it has to do with your age, okay, and also your financial level, because you're not exposed. So, but those of us who are old enough remember a time when I still say that the FBI killed black people, innocent black people. Okay, I still say that. I'm sorry, you can print it as inflammatory. We were there. That's why you don't talk about J. Edgar Hoover to us, okay? All right, and what he did and what they did. And believe me, the reports always were that they cheered in the FBI headquarters when Martin Luther King died.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So people know this is not, so you can't examine these kind of issues without on the history. And so a lot of the people who are against gun control are specifically doing it. So now here's what came up as a picture, Vic. Take a look, you guys.
I want to ask you that. Is that picture on the left, is that Norm?
That is not Norm. That is terrible. You know, he's talking about you. Okay, so this is from Facebook. And see, I'll read. So you honestly think you need your guns to protect yourself from the U.S. government. No offense, but you really thought this through? Have you really thought this through? Here are some facts of life you should keep in mind. This is you. This is U.S. government. The U.S. government can take you out before you could even unplug yourself from World of Warcraft. Fortunately, the U.S. government is we the people. Yes, even that scary boogeyman in the White House. And it actually protects your silly ass, whether you understand that basic reality or not. Now, I would tell you that the conspiracy when people tell you is that it's very interesting. This person's totally in the dark. If you think the government's protecting you, then you're the one who's in la-la land. Okay, no offense. All right, so that's why these things are so controversial. No, but I think I get the point. But I want you to understand that the other folks feel totally different. Remember, fighting overwhelming governments is nothing new to people. How do you think they feel in Afghanistan? They already beat the Russians. How do you think they feel in Vietnam? Fighting overwhelming power. I also cite Gandhi, who wrapped himself in a cloth and made the British get out of India. So I'm saying, so people who fight against overwhelming things, that's the whole point. I'm only saying this so people can understand what goes behind this. I don't know what to do about gun control. As a child of the 60s, I also one of the people who was privy to those discussions. So people were discussing this coming for the last 40 years, okay?
You know, the part that comes in.
They've been talking about it.
The part that's difficult with a subject like this is that the people who are involved in it with the argument, especially from the political end, are typically people who are products of as early as the 40s, 50s, and 60s, and they stay ingrained with what the doctrine is on this. So the hard part about this is making it relevant to now, having examples now that can touch people and they can relate without having to go back and do the research. Because Mar, most people are just taking things in at a glance. So how do you get it across the nature of what this subject is about? And we say this all the time. Why do the politics of this? Because gun control is about the politics surrounding it. Why are the numbers so poor and so bad? I think it's not that the subject is not important. It's just that they can't relate it to something that impacts people right now and right away in the way it should. Because it's always the same argument where they say, well, if you go back then, was very difficult because who are we talking to? Who's the target market?
That is part why. See, that's the reason why these subjects like this frustrate me, you guys, because I don't see any real progress because you're not going to have any real dialogue. Because the politicians bring you no real dialogue. At least here amongst us, we're willing to discuss it. It's a tough issue, and we also are willing to tell everybody to chill out. Because everybody has friends and people they love on the other side of this issue.
Right.
It's the truth. This abortion, gun control, the president, everybody has people that they love that are exactly opposite to them on these issues.
That's right.
We all do. Know at
Lifestyle.
Thanksgiving you got something to fight about, right? You're going to fight about politics. It's going to be gun control.
Right. Let me say this.
And abortion.
Here's an example, and you always use it. It's very simple. It's relative to people now. You live in urban, congested areas, or there's suburban, congested areas. Your economic value goes up relative to you saying, I have the right to protect myself because of the congestion of the possibility of crime, intervention to my private life. Go out into the country where you live around a whole bunch of animals, and then your neighbor's 5 miles away. You would think they said, well, you're not going to be.
They all got a bunch of guns.
That's what I'm saying. My whole point is it's the lifestyle issue still comes around that guns are a fabric
how about
of our
this
life.
one? How about this one? You don't really want an assault weapon, but then you realize that everybody around you got assault weapons.
Right.
So now let me get this right. This is the discussion I had. I went to work and found these high-priced professionals all shopping for assault weapons.
Yep.
All of them.
Yep.
And the gun shows out here are packed.
Right.
2-block-long lines.
Right. The more, the merrier.
And this is the way the discussion went. I want the biggest, with whatever you got, I want that one.
Right.
So another guy said, I said, imagine this. Here they outside your house, and they got just one or two of them guns.
You want a tank.
And you got a 6-gun revolver. What the hell you going to do with that? I tell somebody, that's like taking a knife to a gunfight. You jump out with your knife, hit your switchblade, and they sit there.
Right.
They go all chuckle. Bah, 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 bah.
Right.
Okay, now, so the part of the people don't understand, say, why do they need? And the other thing is that when you go out to the people who don't trust the government, they said, I want the same gun the soldier has.
That's right.
They don't even bullshit. If the soldier's carrying it, I want one.
Right.
That's the way they feel, because I want to be defending myself, period. So whatever there exists. If I could buy a jet, I'd have that son of a bitch parked out back too. Fighter plane, all of that. I'm just saying there are people who feel this way, and then you say, why don't you trust your government? Please don't get me on that. Please don't get me on.
No, we're not going there.
Yeah, we can't get on that today.
No.
We'll be here all.
No.
We'll be. Oh, please don't get me and on trusting the government.
You have to be.
That'll scare the shit out of you.
You have to be a harbinger of positive thinking today.
So I don't know what the answer is. I just know what the questions are, but I don't know what the answer is. I'm just saying this. I have revolvers and a shotgun, right? I have license. I have my stuff licensed. After the earthquake, I went and bought a shotgun because I didn't want things that would shoot through the wall and hit my people. And I didn't want stuff you could have accidents, would shoot people by accident, so I bought revolvers.
Right.
Now, what the hell good is a revolver today?
Right.
You're going to pull out your 6-shooter, looking like you back, and they're going to say, what, in the Wild Wild West? Would you go, is that Sheriff John? You're going to whip out your gun, they're going to laugh. Okay.
They just registered Mario right now. They just say
I'm already got licensed. And I'm saying, even though the shotgun, I tell you this, everybody says this. Everybody and their mama knows the sound of a shotgun. Mm-hmm. Even the police tell you that is a sound that is known to strike fear. Be somebody's house and hear. Here.
That's wrong.
Your sphincter goes to 2,000.
See, I got an atomic slingshot. See, I got it a little bit different. I got a silent weapon protecting me. You guys want to know what an atomic slingshot is?
What's that?
I ain't gonna tell you. Why am I gonna tell you? I need to protect myself.
Well, you got it. So I'm just saying these are the issues. We'll talk about it next week. And remember, these are the things you thought about. I thought about my woman at the time, and I said, honey, if you hear something in the house, you lock the door, grab the gun out, and go sit in the chair across from the door.
Wonder if it's your ex.
Well, then you go out there and talk to them about gun control. That's what I tell Donna. Hey, Donna, go out there and talk to them about gun control. Wait, try to explain it and do it in your nicest way. They'll be on the news tonight. They found her dead, shot multiple times.
See, I'm saying, you know what? See, the part you want to protect against is the trigger happiness of it, because you know, Mario, people do this. You know this for a fact. When something happens nearby, they rush out and say, "Let me go get my weapons. I'm ready." They won't let that happen to me. They get around their lifestyle. And something may happen that's artificial, and they're ready to go in.
But you just hit the point, Vic. Send your ex to confront the robbers. Call them up. God, please help. They're stealing the child support money. Call the alimony checks. They break into the alimony safe. And send your ex out there.
That's wrong.
To combat the gun. And they give them a 6-shooter.
Hey, look.
No, you say, no, baby, no guns. Here's a taser. Go out there and talk to. I know they have masks and guns, but take this taser and you going out there and talk to them about it. Tell them how you feel. Here's a spear. Here's a spear. Take your ass on out there. I'll be on the news tonight. You know they be saying, what happened to her? They took her away. I don't understand.
You see what he's doing?
I'm just saying.
So you could tell he's not actually.
I'm just saying.
I'm gonna protect my baby. He's actually sitting around.
You know what? Here's what everybody's a hypocrite on this. Everybody's against assault weapons until the mother's at your damn door. Now, when they beating on your door, boom, 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 boom.
Right.
You know goddamn well you want 100 bullets in that clip.
Of course.
You gonna say, I'm going to light you up so bad, you're going to be able to filter sunlight through you.
See, I always say this. What you end up doing in the end of the day, I said, having the conversation with children.
That's what I'm saying.
When they're 10 years old, when they're 8, and they're 12, and they're 9, I said, how do you have the conversations about them without having a doctrine where they take it and run with it?
I don't know what y'all do, because when you have children, you don't want guns, but that's when you feel like you really need guns. I have a buddy, he hates guns. He don't want them around his kid, but he's scared to death to not have guns. I said, yeah, remember the earthquake?
Right.
I just say this. I can remind you the moments when we had that big L.A. earthquake and people were driving down the streets, acting crazy all over the place.
Yep.
At that time, you were thinking to yourself, I swear to God, how many of the people do you think were thinking, I wish I had a gun, or I'm glad I have a gun?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Was it 100%? Okay, I'm just telling you. And again, if you live in the inner city, that's why it's a problem.
Watch this.
You want to have a six gun?
Watch
You want to
this.
have a six gun?
Watch this. I hate to tell on ourselves, but we have to. Mario, did you ever sneak around and look in your father's personal stuff? Like, look for magazines.
Everything. With all you people, I tell my friends, your children are searching your shit right now.
That's what I'm saying.
While you at work right now, your kids are going through all your shit. They found your stash 2 years ago. All your porn, your son been reading that since he was 9 years old. Okay, like, 'cause I found all my parents. So stop trying to act like y'all can hide some shit.
So you do find that the guns,
Christmas gifts, I found
the
everything.
guns are going to probably be part of that because
Have a gun safe.
and I'm
hide the key.
just saying because the kids will find
I
it.
would have picked the lock on your gun safe. That's the kind of kid I was.
Right.
I found everything.
Right.
I went all through my mom's closets, everything. Just because it was there. Everything.
Think about it. I mean, even when you look at the Connecticut shooting,
That's why I'm
of
paying
the
today.
babies or the children, the kids, and they say whether the gun was registered in the mom's name. So everybody said, "Well, how did he get the guns?" And I said, "See, the part that you have to understand is kids and children and youth are smart enough to know that when they need to go do something." And they're about to go commit a crime, they're not going to respect and says, "Oh, I don't want my brother, friend, or whomever to know that I got the gun." They're already bent on going to cause
And if you
harm.
live right-
So it's a whole different mentality. That's why I said, do you know that your children, because this argument comes up about, well, I wonder if my children are search and hunters and I have weapons.
That's
on my
what I'm
property.
saying.
Be
If you
careful.
live on a ranch, what age you put a gun in your son's hand?
That's what I'm saying.
10,
That's all I'm saying. And you
12. Tell me, it's at least by 12.
There-
First of all, in certain situations, you got to teach them how to defend themselves.
That's right.
You teaching your son how to shoot in case and he's got a gun strapped on him.
Yep. I'm
So,
just
and
saying.
people came up that way. Now, what happened? So, I don't know. Again, I'm not saying that we should be living that way. I'm saying this is why you don't have a consensus.
Right.
And the problem, I just wish we could have a true forum and talk about it. And the other thing, I'm reminding everybody, please, when you talk about this, please stay cool and remember that we have friends and family on both sides of this issue, and we do not need to be getting in arguments with each other
Right.
over gun control.
Right.
Let's not do that.
Right.
Okay.
And then don't look at the movies. The movies always show you the badass is doing it.
That's
There's
right.
usually a silent person who's still just internally going, I'm about to cause some harm.
It's them quiet ones that look like Norman and PMC.
No, it's not.
Don't be messing with them. Don't mess with
No,
Norman. He'll
no.
pull out a straight razor and cut.
You know what? You got to do a disclaimer because people are going to watch this.
I'm just saying.